Yes, yes, yes. When you hear those sweet sounds, you know you are tuned in to Grande Loq, the grandiloquent hip hop show. We're three lovers of hip hop, creators of hip hop, music fans, educated cats. We love to talk hip hop and good music straight to the old heads. And we continue to amplify great music, great hip hop being made today in the name of the culture. I am your co-host, Ian Taranji. I'm here tonight, as always, with my partners in crime, the wonderful Tia Abner. Tia, how are you?
I am midway to Friday. Yes.
That's
one
that's
shot
a,
down, one more to go, and I'm gonna
that's
re-enter the world of the living.
that's very tepid, but we're gonna get you. We're gonna get that energy up. We're gonna get that energy up tonight. Our other co-host, of course, the grandiloquent one himself, Artemis Thompson.
Yo.
How the hell
Chill,
are you,
man.
brother?
Shout outs to Crushing Apparel.
Crush.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Dwu. You know,
Shout
I
out.
support black owned business, support DC. You know what I mean? This DC, support DC, basically.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
So yeah.
As always, we would be honored if you would subscribe, rate, share, review our pod, everywhere you can find us. There's ways to talk with us, and there's ways to interact with us on social media. Certainly Tia and Artemis, I would prefer that you not follow me on social media. My social media is just a mess. I get into fight with shitheads all the time, and I always forget the golden rule of being an attorney. If they pay you to argue, don't do it for free.
What?
Don't do it for free.
Bam.
Good point.
So yeah, tonight, guys, this is I think a big deal. We are celebrating the start of season 2 of Grande Loq.
Hey.
It says here in my notes, explosions, pyrotechnics, club sirens blaring. So I'm sure we're going to add that in post. Much to Artemis's chagrin,
Yes.
I'm sure.
It wasn't authorized.
Pyrotechnics right over Artemis's bed.
Our budget has been cut, so that cannot be done.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Cut the budget for season 2. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Yes. Season 1, guys, was amazing. We talked so many interesting topics in the hip hop community, and we reviewed current or recent releases from, here's a list: Saw Rock, Open Mike Eagle, Pharaoh Monch, Breeze Bruin and Juggernauts, Benny the Butcher, Homeboy Sandman, Cornell West Theory, Busta Rhymes, Marv One, Odyssey, Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. I may be forgetting one or two, or also may not have gotten them all in my notes here, but man, that's an amazing body of work, of great hip hop that has all been, out basically in the last year, right? Year or so,
Yeah,
I think.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just so much amazing music that we were able to review. I don't know. We kind of had this system where we each sort of picked on a rotating basis our current release and then our classic. Tia, did you have a favorite out of the currents?
I'm gonna say what surprised me that I wasn't expecting to maybe even was, or not necessarily dislike, but I really enjoyed the Open Mike Eagle album. I constantly go back to it, and I expected that I'd like it, but I kind of just held out listening to it, and then now I love it. It's in my rotation.
Yeah. Artemis, what about you?
What have I gone back to that surprised me? I'm surprised that the Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist album kind of snuck by me, and then listening to it, I was just like, oh my God, how did I miss over this? It wasn't even a thing of just I knew I wasn't going to like it or anything. None of that. It was just that I didn't pay attention to it enough, and it blew me away.
Yeah.
I've gone back to it a couple of times.
I was going to mention Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist as well. Breeze Brewing and Juggernauts. But the one that I liked, I think I don't want to say the most because I don't really do that sort of like comparing. But what I find myself going back to the most is that Fair Homage 13 album.
Oh yeah.
Fine Day for an Exorcism, I think it is. Great album. And so, for our viewers who watch, we also review classic albums. So I'm going to give you guys a list. AC Alone's A Book of Human Language, Dr. Dre's The Chronic, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, I Wish My Brother George Was Here, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Mecca and the Soul Brother, Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links, Slum Village, Fantastic Volume 2, Bahamadia College, Ras Kass, Soul on Ice. That is just, to me, this is a great body of work that we got a chance to really sink into, dig our teeth into there in season 1. And so, we also did 2 very special episodes, one dedicated to the master villain himself, MF Doom, and one talking about the hip hop and rap nominees for this year's WAMMIEs. That was another great episode and a great opportunity for me to dig into a lot of just tremendous local hip hop. Much of it, my friend Artemis produced and performed by you. So, all right, guys, what's on tap? Season 2. We still plan on talking about current events. Still plan on talking about current releases, classics, getting in our feelings, remembering the times with those classics. We also are planning a slate of guests for this year, and so I think that is going to add a really great dynamic to the show. And so we start tonight. We start tonight with the incredible DCMC, the doyenne of the DC Music Summit. You see what I did there? Dior Ashley Brown. DC Music Summit this year is going to be May 21st through the 23rd, and Dior is going to tell us all about it, why you should attend, and she'll also tell us, we'll talk about her journey to becoming a local hip hop luminary, and she's one of the best and brightest in our DMV hip hop community. So I can't wait to get this conversation started, guys. Congratulations on season 1, and
Yay.
Any overarching thoughts on season 1 before we really dive into season 2?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I will echo that. Fun and new discoveries. Just there is nothing like I didn't expect anything that we were going to experience, because I even thought that, like, going back into the classics, oh yeah, I know this, and there was still things I was learning as we were reviewing classics, and I'm like, what? It's been really fun and educating.
Yeah.
That's the word, educating.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying that's the word, educating. And then with Tia being the sample oracle, she's giving us gems about so much. And then your perspective has been good for me to learn from too, because you're coming from it as like a musician, instrumentalist. I mean, let me not say instrumentalist, but you play the guitar, you songwrite in that sense. So it's good to hear your perspective on it. So definitely.
Well, appreciate that. Educational is definitely, I think, the code word, the key word for us for season 1. Like, you guys turn beyond. I mean, I sometimes feel like I have a very broad scope of musical knowledge, and it's not always as deep as I like in various genres. I always tell people I've been like studying jazz for 30 years, and I still feel like a neophyte. So getting a chance to listen to you guys and how deep your hip hop knowledge is, it has been super educational for me as well. So, and I expect that we're going to add a whole new element this year. I don't think every episode we're going to have guests for interviews, but we definitely are planning to have more. And so, without further ado, let's get into our talk with Dior.
Yes, y'all. You don't stop.
Hey, in the week.
Back with Grande Loq. We have a
Yeah.
special guest on our show today, as we discussed before, as Ian put it. You know, we have the one and only Dior Ashley Brown in the house tonight.
Much love. Much love. What's
The
up? What's up?
the head. How should I put this? You are the CEO, or maybe better yet, the founder of DC Music. Do I have that right?
Yes.
DC Music
Yes.
Summit.
I am the
Right.
founder of DC Music Center. Yep.
Part of Is a Flow. I got that right.
That's right. Is a
The
flow. Yes,
the
right.
the leader of what's that called? The Dab Project. Do I have that
Jazz
right? The
band.
Dab
The jazz
Band. Yeah.
band. Yeah.
I knew I was
Yeah.
gonna mess up one of those, but
Yeah. No, you good.
it was good to have you in here. You know what I mean? Good to have as our first interview too. Like,
Yes.
thank you so much for blessing us.
Wow, that's awesome. And this is season 2, right?
This is season
Yep.
2. Season 2.
Congratulations on season
episode
1.
one.
Let's go.
Yes.
Go. Go.
So check this out.
Yes.
I chose the task of asking you about your beginnings with music because I've known you for quite some time. I
Yes,
used to
yes.
run into you at some of the open mic spots
Mhm.
when you was running with your man Blasphemous.
Yes.
But I never knew your background as
Yeah.
far as like you getting on like your musical journey. So
Yeah.
go into that a little bit with your background and just like how you got into doing music.
Yeah. So my father can sing, so I got that gift. I guess it came through my genes to be able to sing, and so I used to listen to like Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and Luther Vandross and try to mimic those amazing voices. And I thought I was gonna be two things: a singer and a lawyer. And then so we were living in Germany, and us getting CDs was like contraband, because like it was so hard to get like new music, you know what I'm saying? So once something came out, that was what was everybody was bopping to. And so there were a couple of CDs that I remember early on when I got my first stereo system, my first boombox. um I remember having like Tevin Campbell, SWV, Shaq Diesel, because he was a part of like, I forgot what was that movie he was in back in the
Talking about
show.
Steel,
No, I don't think it was Steel. So might have been Steel. No, I think it was a different name.
Shazam.
Well, the album,
Shazam.
yeah. But the album was called Shaq Diesel.
Yes.
I'm not gonna tell you how many times I listened to that.
It's okay. It was Shaq. It's okay.
Hey, we're gonna review that. We're gonna review that as a classic later.
He was my hero. He's one of my heroes for sure. And so yeah, listen, I've had a few of those CDs, and I remember, and I brought this up actually at the Kennedy Center for the Live in 5. Like I love. Oh, and I had Nonchalance Until the Day album when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Shout out to Non.
Didn't even know she was from DC. Was listening to her in Germany. You know what I'm saying? We're from DC, living in Germany. Didn't even know. I mean, I love that album frontwards and backwards. Still to this day, it still hits me up, like the soul of it and everything. I'm like, wow, incredibly produced album. But anyway, so yeah, like early on, I was listening to those, and I guess the poetry that I was hearing between Nonchalant and Tevin Campbell, these artists. I started off writing poetry, and I used to have this fake bay window in my room. So I had a mirror with a little chair next to it, and I used to, write and talk to my mirror. And so early along, I just thought I was going to be a lawyer and I was going to sing. You know what I'm saying? Those are the two things I just knew I was going to do. And just to speed it up and bring it to hip hop, I ran away from hip hop for a long time. Like hip hop was really chasing me. I was a closet MC. My boyfriend used to bring me out with his friends, and I used to get in these ciphers, and then I start rapping, and then they'd be like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, and I'd be like, oh, okay. So I would just kind of hide it, you know what I'm saying? And, or maybe you don't. So like for years, I like really had like my writing skills. I've written everything from like plays, like all out in hip hop verse, and I was inspired deeply by Nas and Outkast and Mobb Deep, like the infamous album. Like what's crazy was I was listening to all of them when I was living in Colorado, because I don't know if you guys know this yet, I'm a military brat too.
Right.
So I was listening to all of that while I was living in Colorado. And then when I came back home and I was listening to Mobb Deep going to school at Calvin Coolidge High School in DC, it was like, woo, and you felt that brick outside and you wearing a bubble trying to get to school. It's a whole nother vibe, you know.
I feel you.
But yeah, I didn't know I was going to be an MC until I think it was like I was 19 years old, and I wrote 2 verses to Shook One's hold up, don't let the mic go, drop shit, that's insightful, save a generation from denial, begin the revival, let hip hop live inside you, live inside you, let hip hop live inside you. So that was like one of my first hooks.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 19 and
Awesome.
yeah, thank you. And I remember I had a book, I had my composition. And I'll be out, you know, I was out being bad, flirting, you know what I'm saying? And I'm rapping to the dude, you know, trying to get his attention with my verses. No, boo, I think I bagged my boyfriend off my verses. Like I was with him for like 4 or 5 years. I think he fell in love with me. When he heard me rap, he was like, oh, this is my boo. And I was like, oh, this work. Oh, this work. So yeah, I knew, and just to kind of make it all make sense, I also thought I was going to be an actor, but that happened later in life, you know?
Okay.
And so I went to school for theater, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? I went to Duke Ellington for theater. I went to college for theater. I knew I was going to be an actor, and my friends and everybody just kept pulling me back like, nah, you do that, but you're dope. Come on.
Right.
You know, and yeah.
That's
So
what's
that's
up.
kind of like the history.
Yeah, see, you already answered one of the questions I'm going to ask, like what inspired you. Actually, like so you named Nas, you named like Mobb Deep inspired you. Like anybody else along the way that gave you some like inspiration?
Yeah, definitely Outkast. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, oh my God. Like AT Aliens was the album that I was brought into. And I really was just like, I mean, I know that album also frontwards and backwards, and it just, you know, touched my spirit. Like I could relate. That was like, I could relate to it, even though they were much older than me at the time. I could really relate to it in the soul, and I connected to it. And it's crazy to like learn about the places now, because I love how I listen. Like I grew up on a lot of that music, but like it's something for me with every age I grow. I'm like, yo, that's hip hop to me. When you keep growing up and you're like, oh, that's what they were saying. And Nas did that for me too. I came in on It Was Written. I didn't know about his first album. Yeah, I came in on It Was Written. I was like, yo. And the reason why that album touches me so much is because I grew up with jazz in the house. So my father played Sting. So doom 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 da doom 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 da doom doom da doom doom. Man, when Nas had that on his album, I'm like, yo. I was like, yo. Like my father didn't even know he was preparing me for hip hop.
That's dope, man. Nice. Now, speaking of which, as a woman within this culture and perfecting your craft and everything, tell me something. What are the challenges that you faced, like being in a male-dominated like music industry?
You know,
culture.
Thank you so much for asking that, because like it's really been a positive and negative for me. Like I ain't gonna lie, early on I was like, yo, what's all this hating and, you know, keeping me from being fully myself. And, you know, there's just always something and they don't want to hear me. I mean, oh my God, I remember when one of those moments where I was kind of trying to step out as not saying I was an MC, just like wanted to see if I could like move the crowd at a party. I was at college, University of Maryland. And I remember like, you know, trying to get on the mic and the DJ was like, yeah, go ahead. So I get on the mic and I start spitting. And then some dude ran to the DJ and told him and gave him a note. And it said something about like when bees, you know, nobody wants to hear bees on the mic. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn. And I remember like that really kind of like pissing me off, but like pushing me forward, you know? And like a lot of different instances in my life as I, you know, it was crazy because Blasphemous was one of the other people to really encourage my journey. That's dope. You know, really, you know, really put me out as MC. He wanted me to push his vision, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of the squad. But and I respect that too, because I learned a lot from him, you know, because you gotta believe it. Nobody else gonna believe it. You gotta believe it. But he really did believe in me as an MC and really tried to, you know, help bring out those things in me. And I really gotta give him a lot of respect for that.
No doubt.
And yeah, like I dealt with a lot of friction, but he was a part of those spaces that, you know, to protect me too. You know, I was lucky to have that also in my journey, but I was discouraged often. I mean, even by my boyfriend, you know, he didn't like that I was freestyling, you know,
jealous.
Jealousy, you know what I'm saying? And then also I think, you know, it just the whole, this setup of the patriarchy versus matriarchy. I'm one of those women who believe in balance, men and women, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's respect each other, you know, but I mean, if somebody has a talent and a gift, you know, they're not going to dim your light. They're only going to make you more lit. You know what I'm saying? So celebrate them, you know, so
You and Blasphemous made a good team too. I always felt that. Like, you guys, you're back and forth on your stage shows. I can't remember all the shows now, but I want to say I've seen you guys at least like 5 times around.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to say, because we would go to the same spots a lot. So I was like, okay, I see y'all. So
awesome.
Shouts to Blasphemous though, man.
Yes, much
Good
love.
Good peoples.
Indeed.
Artemis, are you passing the mic to me?
Yes, of course. I just want to say nothing else. I didn't want to say nothing.
After
that, I was like, no, Tia
That's what we call a smooth transition.
Hey, Artemis, those are good questions. You got deep. You got
yeah,
I got deep. Now I got to shut up because it's Tia's turn. I'm shutting up.
I'm excited because I feel like one of the things, Dior, I admire so much about you is that you really are, I mean, you don't just sort of talk activism. I love that you live it. It is just, it's embedded in everything you do. And it doesn't have to be, it's not, I think, surface level or like, you know, some artists where they feel like they have to, you know, continue a certain image or something like that. It's just natural. It's just who you are. And I love that you're, you know, sort of saying it's this innate calling, especially as a Black woman, to be able to sort of just, that is who your identity every day, regardless of how people see you, how the community sees you. And I love on your website, you have—
Thank you for seeing me.
Yes. This statement about, you know, all of my work is united by a single purpose: to transform the negative and distorted images of people of color and challenge the media to acknowledge the depth of our multi-layers. And how, explain that passage and how you go about sort of transforming those distorted images.
Yeah, I mean, it really came a lot out of acting. You know, every kid, you know, if you spark them and you spark something in them, in some passion that you have, they look up at you and they say, I want to do what you do. If some, right? And I was one of those people where performers and arts touched my spirit. I want to do what you do. I did not know that there was so many blocks in the space of me wanting to be what I wanted to be in full. Like, my parents told me I could be wherever I wanted to be. And they wanted me to go to college and do something I love, as long as I go to college, like do it, you know? And it really broke my heart in some ways, because a lot of that statement comes from acting. Is that the categorization, you know what I'm saying? The fact that, you know, I can't be a love interest, or I only can be like a mama, or and I'm not saying those were the only roles that I got, because I've been very good, because I'm wanting to fulfill who I am in full. I don't want to be pegged in those roles. So I've been blessed to play different roles, right? But like, there were a lot of times where I would go to auditions in New York. I'm talking about, I would leave here on the bus at like 2 a.m. to get to an audition at 6 a.m. in New York. And I'd be in these long lines where like, it'd be one role for one Black woman and it's wrapped around the building down the street. And I was like, yo, I'm talking about like, I'm in lines with like the lead of Stella Got Her Groove Back, and women and Black women who are part of like a Puff Daddy's Making the Band. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here like, yo, like, how am I in the same line competing with people who have like blockbusters? Right. And that really showed me a lot. You know what I'm saying? One, the illusion of, Hollywood and things like that, but then the illusion of, I mean, well, minute thinking of the industry and not wanting to have flexibility with different races, people, or having multiple roles, and so that place comes from wanting to change that narrative. And also in hip hop for me is that, like, I also want to be so many different things to allow hip hop to evolve and thrive through me, as a woman, and so I don't want always there to be this these negative roles, these common roles where we're, and sometimes the drug dealer story is always not so bad, but we're always plugged into these certain spaces, you know what I'm saying? Either, stripper or a rapper, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, drug dealer, or, we can't have mother and father in a full home. And so, I was blessed to have both my parents, they didn't have the same path, growing up that I did. They have this vision that they wanted to be there for me. And that's a blessing. And it does exist in the community. Whole families exist in the Black community. So I want to bring the things that, built me up, that inspired me, and also things I took through, and show people different lenses and layers of us, so many different stories to who we are. You can't just look at me and say, oh, she's this, No, well, there's so many different layers, and allow me to be free,
I love that. That's a powerful, I think, just a kind of philosophy, because there absolutely has been in the industry so much of a small lens applied to our experience. And I think about, like, I mean, you've been asked this question already about being a woman, but I think as you're talking about this, I'm hearing a lot. I mean, there's so much right now with this very small lens applied in the mainstream to, like, there's one archetype of what a female rapper looks like, sounds like. And I love the fact that you're kind of just shattering the gauge, not even breaking the pushing the needle. It's sort of like, there is no box for you. Oh. There is no space. You can do it all. And I think, how is sort of your activism supported, especially with women of color? How has that come through of shattering that archetype that I think the industry is trying to push, women artists into?
Well, the blessing is that they gave us Instagram. You know what I'm saying? They gave us YouTube. So now you're showing me, oh, I can create my own channels and my own narrative and my own image. But now I just need to be on certain media stems to really get the broader audience to see and value my story as well. Like, I make my music for absolutely everyone, but I especially want Black women and girls to feel like, yeah, I can do this. I'm on my grind. I've also been through things, but I can keep pushing. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I can give myself self-care, because the other thing is that the affliction that we have experienced through life also is also the reason why we don't see ourselves as beautiful in some spaces. While we're just learning about self-care, why, because we've thought in our minds, oh, we have to work. Yeah. And so I wanna create spaces that we, as far as my activism, I want you to see us and also appreciate our beauty, and our ethic, and in so many different areas. So I guess for the activism, I'm just wanting to be, I am presenting to be completely in myself, and just saying, yeah, you could put something on my age, you could put something on my looks, but I'm still going to do it and have fun, Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel that theme radiating, and I feel like it gives you joy, because, you want to be able to look at it. The experience for Black women should not always be that we're just the, harbinger, the carriers of pain, like carry the baskets of pain in our, wounds, that resilience. And it's like, yes, those are great things we should be, showcasing, but that we're so much more layered. So I'm glad to hear that. I love that. That is just, admirable. And then I know right now we're in such a special moment in our history, an inflection point, if you will, where in the country where people are beginning to think about and sort of accept these new constructs for them, new racial and gender disparities, marginalized communities, recognizing that there's now newfound attention. I love everyone saying this awakening, right? So this racial awakening, it's not only an awakening for a small segment of the population.
Right.
But
in major cities.
Exactly. With all of this sort of happening around, the wealth disparity, health disparities, sentencing and criminal cases and the legal system, police brutality on national TV broadcasts and social platforms. How has this sort of been, are you optimistic, I'd rather say, about our future as a society and a culture? Or how are you feeling about where we are as a nation right now?
The nation, I am a bit worried of the nation because every other day I'm hearing about somebody being shot, or there were shootings, way more frequent than I ever experienced growing up. When the moment Columbine happened, I actually remember sitting in front of a TV and watching, like, the ambulance and the people coming out and the news. Whereas now it's like, oh, somebody got killed. Okay, what's on next? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy. It's way too frequent. And it could be the access of, social media, but it's just blowing me away with that. In the Black community, I am definitely encouraged and inspired because I'm starting to see groups and also blue check leaders on Instagram talking about financial empowerment. And inspiring, and I'm seeing a lot of women artists really being aggressive with who they are and unapologetic, and they're Black and beautiful, and they're telling their story, and they're almost like a whole bunch of in this Aquarian age, right? There are a whole bunch of old souls, like these indigos, who are just like, I'm like, how that an ancestor had to be in your body for you to come here on earth and rap that flow like that or sing that song? Like, how do you know that much soul, And I'm starting to see that. So I am very hopeful because if anything, I definitely feel the renaissance. Like, just being out here and watching what's going on, like there is definitely a renaissance. And I think that now that we're understanding how to use a lot more of the tools to produce our artistry, we are hitting, we are moving. We are shaking and moving. So I'm definitely optimistic in Black liberation, Black revolution, and also the Renaissance. Like I am so in that way. As far as the country, I hope that we will not be, as Francis Scott Wesling said, America's I am race. I hope that we start getting away from that, but I still think we have a long way to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that. This is awesome. You just inspired me in so many ways.
Amen. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. Yes. Amen. And I love that track with you and Artemis. Y'all are on my workout track. I work out today, jobs. Like, here we go.
How about being unapologetic, right? Gotta get health. I love that. That is another thing that we have to commit to, as we've talked about on our show before. Ian, I'll pass the mic to you. I know you've got some great ones about DC Music Summit.
Yes.
That's right. DC Music Summit. I mean, this has been tremendous conversation so far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But we want to give you the opportunity to promote DC Music Summit. It's coming up. Tell us all about DC Music Summit. First of all, when is it this year?
Yes.
And how can people sign up?
Absolutely. So right now you can go to dcmusicsummit.org. You can hit that buy tickets button and get your ticket. It is right now $40 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-day event with 15 different sessions. I think it's 10 plus performers. And we have our keynote speaker, and we're going to have a kickoff party with a DJ on Friday night, and that's going to be a YouTube party. So we're going to promote people to support each other via YouTube and share and share and share, because I've noticed that on YouTube you need at least 100 subscribers to be able to go live. And so just that we want to be able to help people bump it up a little bit, get their numbers up. You know, you're a working artist, let's see, you know, get your following. Now it's going to be your job to keep them after that.
Yeah,
But you know, we're going to promote, you know, that, you know, gain your following, because we want people to thrive in this COVID, because you know, even though things are opening back up, you know, I can't see us at arenas tomorrow. So we've got to, it's going to take some time to get there. And also, you know, we got to be prepared for this new digital world. So let's get people up to the top, you know, exactly. So the summit's going to be May 21st through the 23rd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm so excited because Carolyn Malachi, who's a Grammy nominated jazz artist from the city, she's going to be our keynote speaker. We're going to yoga, meditation. It's all virtual, but we just got a call from Eaton that wants to help us make it hybrid. So we're probably going to have a viewing party at the Eaton Hotel. So it'll be like a registration that goes out to our ticketers and say, hey, first come, first serve. And you can be right up in the space. But yeah, we got mad swag this time around. So we want y'all to come get this swag, get these tickets. Yeah, and it's going to be awesome, man. I'm just so excited that the community, I mean, I really feel like this is like the community, like they're really like, yo, like I needed to be a part of this. Like I got so many yeses from like certain panelists. I was like, what, you gonna do it? You know, we have a music A to Z panel. That's where you can kind of ask the questions like, you know, anything you want to know about thriving locally or in the industry, you know, like, you know, how do I, you know, gain management if I need management, and or how do you feel about, you know, being a Black artist in the local scene? But it's a very diverse, strong panel. So a lot of people are going to be able to talk to everyone. So yeah, I've been very intentional about keeping diversity, but also especially allowing Black people to see themselves in this event.
Yep.
Awesome.
That is a fantastic organization, and you know, you are to be commended for all of your work on that. What do you see going forward? What do you see as the future? I mean, you know, we'll be, God willing, knocking on wood, burning more Palo Santo here.
Yes,
we'll be past the pandemic for DC Music Summit 2022 and beyond. Kind of like, what do you see, you know, DC Music Summit 2022 looking like, 2023, 24?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fire hybrid event. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm trying to manifest it now, but I want some computer like geniuses doing some crazy stuff for artists. Like I really want to take it to the next level. I would love to I want DC Music Summit to be like the hub for all of the organizations where they can connect with artists and be like a flagship space for artists to get resources, connect, and we do it in cool and funky ways, you know what I'm saying? So that it could really be, you know, I want to continue to be like the trusted space, you know, and we are going to be a nonprofit. So we're right now applying for 501c3 status because we wanted to be flexible and an opportunity, you know, that is just a transparent space for artists. Because, you know, a lot of organizations in the past have used artists in a lot of ways. I'm tired of that. I want the transparency. I want artists to get the information. And then also we're moving in a different space. You can have your own audience. You don't have to be Cardi B. You can go right on YouTube, get your Instagram up, and that'll be your audience. And they could be faithful to, you know, forever, ever, you know, as long as you keep the work going. So I see DC Music Summit really being a flagship, really being a space for, you know, resources and diversity and connecting in it. And also, you know, I made it a nonprofit, so there would be different people on the board, different minds. It wouldn't just be me. You know, that's what I want. And I want to always be fresh new faces in the space. You know, I'm talking about old, young, and in between. Ageism not here. We ain't for that. I want, if you 60 and you want to be an artist, let's go.
Yeah,
I like
follow
that.
your dreams.
I really like that.
Yes, that's revolutionary in itself. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. As somebody who's advancing in age, I'm here for that.
You look good now. You look good. The avocado coming on your skin now. You look good.
Well, you know, takes a lot of work to keep up, but you know, I gotta keep it fresh.
That's right. Look at him.
for my lady.
That's right. She ain't having it.
She ain't having it. If I'm sloppy, she is not having it. Not one bit. Okay. Tell us what you've got like going on musically. You're an amazing artist. You're You're a tremendous MC. Anybody who has not, I've had the opportunity to see you with the Dab Band. Anybody who's not had an opportunity to see you perform live, they really, really should. They're missing out. Your band is great, fantastic. You have a great ear for music. What have you got coming up?
So I do have a project. It's the Uptown Ashley Brown project, right? Okay, so I'm still working on this project. I have quite a few songs, but in hip hop, there's always this protest because me and Artemis talk about it all the time. When it comes to sampling and things like that, and I really want to fight for hip hop and really get people to see what we do as a homage. When we're and now I'm not talking people who steal the entire song, right? But I'm talking about when we sample things and we decide we're gonna, hip hop. Sometimes the people who I even know is because of hip hop, like the jazz artists, and because of hip hop, I was like, yo, like it brought me to certain areas and genres I would have never listened to before. So my project is my baby and I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting for it to be out in the public. And there's also a lot of work to be done to the visuals. So the music is there, the songs are there, but I'm fighting to pay homage to the past, and I really want to keep those nuances in there and trying to figure that part out, to be quite honest with everybody in your audience. I want this project to come out and I'm fighting for it. So what I'm doing right now is also having fun, because I don't think that the ears are right where I need them to be. You know what I'm saying? Because, Tierra Whack and them, they get heard, but they should be freaking superstars. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these amazing new artists should be superstars with the amount of talent and work. And I'm just tired of Black women's music getting muted. And I'm like, I refuse to put out like several different CDs and you won't hear none of them. I'm like, I'm not with it. I need y'all to open up and listen to us. So I'm out here trying to break barriers and get in them ears, because I got some seeds. And I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to hear this dope music. But I'm doing some fun stuff to keep my energy up while I'm working on how I want this project to be out.
Very good, very good. Well, that's, I think, the key to any great work of art is the artist's vision.
Yeah.
You got to have I think your mind's eye or your mind's ear, and then manifest that as best you can. And I think that's I look forward to that. I think, as we all do, look forward to hearing Uptown. What is it? Uptown Ashley?
Yeah, and I've Uptown Ashley Brown, and I've snuck some tracks on there. Like I performed some at the Kennedy Center, so you can see that on YouTube now. Yes. But yeah, I'm working on that right now.
Well, Dior, where can people find you on social media? Tell us like where we can, give us any link you want people to hit. Any place you want people to go, tell us.
So please go to my YouTube and watch my stuff. Become a subscriber. I put things on there. MIZZDABISBAD. Miss Dab is Bad. Please follow my YouTube. You can go to my website, DiorAshleyBrown.com, and all my social media is at DIORASHLEY Brown, Dior Ashley Brown.
Yes, excellent. Well, Dior, we cannot thank you enough for being the first interview in the history of Grande Loq. I think this has been fantastic. And you're going to stick with us. Yes. The next segment, you picked our classic album for tonight. Give us a quick preview.
Yeah, so it's Sci-Hi the Prince History. It's a mixtape. And this joint hit me out of nowhere. I think it was my brother who put me on. And I was like, yo, it spoke to my spirit. It inspired me so much. Actually, in a really hard time of my life, it came right on time. And I just want to, I want y'all to hear this. This crank, it's so dope. It's so dope. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to kick that off on the other side. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Prince reporting live from the Intercontinental. Tell Black Detective it's the temple. After that, I'm doing what I do on any central. To be Pacific, you should keep me twisted. I speak prolific, man, I should be teaching physics. Y'all can keep the distance, jealousy's a weak decision. My presence is better than any gift underneath the Christmas tree. Picture me, I used to solicit weed in the street when niggas be like a Daffy and Chicken.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Fired
Oh,
up when I hear that, Joy.
yes, that's what you were just hearing there is Be Great by Sci-Hi the Prince from the History mixtape. Dior, this was your choice. We gave you our guest tonight choice to a classic album to review, and
Yeah.
boy, you picked one. You picked one. All right, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
Tell us about what we're gonna dig into here.
You know, people like this need their roses. They need to show and be appreciated now for their lyricism, for their, emceeing. Like, his MC skills are crazy. He is he's underrated. Like, they don't know how dope he is. Like, they heard him in Monster, and then they just got, I think it was Monster, right? He did the remix of Monster. Yeah, and then it just got quiet, and it's like, no, this is a fire MC right here. This is a true MC. Sci-Hi. I've been watching his, I think he's done some battle raps, and I was just like, yo, this dude is a lyricist. I just love the consciousness of this album. It was right what I needed when I needed it. I was listening to a lot of underground stuff at the time. I was listening to Currency. I was listening to what's his name before he started getting really popular. It'll come back to me, but I was listening to a lot of underground artists, and then he came through, and I was like, what in the world? And I really appreciate the nod to Miseducation, Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. Because throughout the album he has he has a school setting, and this little boy is like presenting him like, I want to talk about Sci-Hi the Prince, and I'm like, yo, that's so amazing, because it's that the album is just that inspiring, the mixtape. But to me, it's an album. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. It was a great choice. So why don't we get into these tracks? Kick us off. What are we going to listen to? And talk about?
So we did Be Great, right? We just played that one, right? And then I think I chose Napoleon.
Yes. Mandela, Napoleon, and Barry White.
Yeah. Now, actually, play that Barry White. Play that Barry White. Yeah.
Sci-Hi. It started around 1976, back when white folks was the only ones selling bricks. A little Mary Jane was the most you got arrested with. They hit you with some charges, but it really never stick. Back when my daddy was bumping earth, wind and fire, blowing earth from the earth and the wind once it hit the fire. We wasn't selling then, shouted we was just the buyers. This was back when blacks first started getting higher. Then something conspired. In the early 80s, this when Ronald Reagan introduced her to that perfect lady. If you cook it right, it's just like you're cooking rice. Now your pocket's looking right, then you bought your first Mercedes. Now people getting addicted, mamas having early babies. The streets is getting crazy, so you bought your first 380. And that's when niggas started dying every night. So go and sell some weed, cause nigga, this shit can carry life. I'm here to Barry White.
It's such a clever track, yo. And I'm like clever. I'm not even being clever to be rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's freaking brilliant.
I'm here to Barry White.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't sure if it was off yet or not.
You good. Don't stress.
Are we talking about it, or I gotta play the next one?
No, you can go into it.
What I love about Barry White is just how brilliant. Like, I grew up in listening to Barry White. Okay, so just the sample and the slow-mo, so I understand why he made it a mixtape. Okay, because the politics with that, right? And then the fact that he's saying bury. to bury white, Bury. And we know what crack and coke, well, definitely what crack did, coke from crack did to our communities. And he's talking about, like, you know, we got to stop this cycle. You're going to get your money, you're going to get rich real quick or get paid real quick, and you're going to be back in prison. And he's giving you all of these different examples of, like, you know, how everyone is affected by crack. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, look, you know, bury this. You know what I'm saying? Think further, think farther, change your life. Oh man. Oh, it's so brilliant to me. It's just brilliant.
It's deep. Tia, what did you think?
So I felt excited. I would think about this song in very much the same way. I mean, growing up listening to Love Unlimited Orchestra, like anybody that uses that sample, you just, I don't know, there's always that nostalgic feel to it. Yeah, and you're just like, you know, it just, Dior, you have it right. It's such a clever just response to an issue that I think, I mean, has just not talked about enough. And I love, there's a documentary, I think I want to say it's called White Powder, Black Crime. It's something to that effect. Yeah, but it sort of talks about Reaganomics, and then it talks about urban communities' response to drugs versus the epidemic of drugs versus how white communities responded. And it's you know, I love the social justice takes on this, but also just the fact that it's like, you can kind of, if you're not even paying attention to what he's saying, he gets you to pay attention to the lyrics, the way that he is delivering it. Because it's easy to get lost in this groove and not pay attention to what he's saying. So you're like, I love the fact that he commands the attention back on the actual concept of this song. So yeah, I'm in full. This is one of
those are goals, the concept goals.
Yes.
Oh. Yo, well, see, it's kind of crazy. Like, listen to this track now. When I hear it, it takes me back to my high school days. To listen to like a lot of UGK and a lot of like and kind of like when T.I. dropped the second album, trap music. It's kind of crazy that album came out around, what was that, 2000 and the 2010 to 2020 era. It came out between then. I can't remember what year, but like the fact that it has that exact style of sound. It just kind of just shows like that what trap was before everybody tried to jack it and make it something else. Like, that's my opinion, you know, because like it really had that feel to it, from the lyrics to the sample. Yeah, I dug this track. I forgot all about this mixtape, and this track, it definitely was a standout. I remember that.
Yes.
I too love the sample. I mean, anybody who watched us during season 1 knows that I'm a sucker for lush musicality, full musicality, and really bringing that to the fore, whether it's samples, whether it's live music, just to have, you know, harmony and melody to kind of like sink my teeth into. I love it, and that is just a classic sample. This is a great song, and yeah, I mean, you know, if we get around to me and I'm third, it's usually because Artemis and Tia have already said brilliant stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you know what they said.
Gotcha.
I mean, I just love
what
that
they
it's
said.
like,
Whatever Tia said, that was exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly. I love how it's a slow dance to the truth. Like, you just like dancing, but you like, I'm here to bury white. Like, hold up. And sometimes you got to do that to people, catch them off guard, you know?
Yeah.
That's right. All right, which one do you want to do next? Mandela or Napoleon?
Let's do Napoleon. It was on my mind.
Right. Before we get into that, can I just say that today we're recording this on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. But is also the 200th anniversary of the death of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Whoa.
Today.
Whoa. Alignment. when things synchronize like that, oh man, yeah.
Coincidental.
That's great.
That's definitely.
There it is. Tell us about this track.
You know what? Actually, what there's it's What I love about Sci-Hi is that he goes right into his royalty. He owns his royalty. He's like, I know who I am, okay, and I'm a bad motherfucker. I like the way he owned it, and it's crazy because I think I don't know, I don't want to challenge his height, but yeah, he's like, I'm owning my space. Okay, I'm 10 feet tall. I'm Napoleon. And I'm excited. And I like to talk like, that trash sometimes. So I'm like,
your vernacular.
My vernacular. Sis, okay.
Nice. Let's hear it. Napoleon.
Marcus.
Sci-Hi. Y'all know what time it is. Young Prince with the soul of Napoleon. I see art like I know the custodian at the Gagosian, and my hoe is Cambodian. While I'm smoking, I send her to the stove for some ozium. If I ain't hot, you must be smoking that opium. Or that shit Hector gave smoking them. And that Impala, but ain't nobody dope as him. So hip hop, it's time to hold a symposium. Or a seminar with no podium. For all the lame niggas throwing sodium on my name, no utopian. My fans are like the 96 Lakers. Coach though Kobe, and remember selling Knicks at night, no Nickelodeon. Now I'm pulling chicks at night, feeling like Scorpion. Dr. Kevokian, all in your whole fallopian. Got giving toppings anchovian. Speaking of cars, they rush hours like 4 p.m. How you a gangster, but on Instagram emoji? In America, niggas dying over pussy. In the Middle East, they dying over petroleum. A pound in the look like a head of lettuce. Niggas steal my metaphors like I never said it. How to battle me, you gon' need a paramedics. That means 2, a paramedics. And the helicopter full of hella doctors for sounding like Andy Miller.
Knock us on the teleprompter. Andy Melanakis. Remember Andy? Marcus. Yo, he talks so much trash on that jump, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, you on mute here?
Oh, and I was laughing at that line. I said, who doesn't love Andy Milonakis? Because I never knew until now, recently, like I was this years old, that he was a grown man all that time.
Yeah.
I did not know the whole time.
I thought he was a kid. I'm about to go back.
No, he's like in his 40s now. So yeah.
Wow, he was killing it.
I know. I never knew.
Game. He better live his best life.
Yes.
I mean, he really, his flow is so Napoleon. It's just like, if I thought Napoleon could rap, that's how he would flow. He would flow just like that. He would go right like that. Oh my God, it's so classy. It's so classy. It's such a classy flow with this one, with Napoleon. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That beat is just killing, just dropped.
Right. Listen, there's few songs. I listened to all the remakes of Anyone Had a Heart. I mean, I love Luther's version. It's just, only because it's such a passionate version because Luther was so close with Dion. But like that Dion and Burt Bacharach, If Anyone Had a Heart, I love the experience. It's just classic Burt Bacharach drama. And like when you say Dior, like the Napoleon, it's what I expect Napoleon to rap on, right? Like I just feel like if you're gonna pick a sample of Napoleon was gonna pick something to put his narrative out there, this would have been the sample. Yeah. So I love the embracing of like living in the whole moment of this and like fuck the hooks. I don't need no hooks on this.
I'm that baby.
Yeah, the phenomenal wordplay and flow over the beat. And like, who doesn't love Impeach the President? Favorite break of all time. Like, just, it's just the whole thing is a package to me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something about that break too. Like, no matter how many times you use that break, you have to give it the proper sample. And I felt like that was like the one you needed. And like to him rapping like he's probably Napoleon, you know what? I have a Napoleon complex too. If I was good at rapping and my album didn't drop yet, like, it should. And I felt like he's just showing like why he's good at what he does. You know what I mean? Like just there's no denying it. It kind of reminds me of how like Fonte would rap though too though a little bit, like the very like
I like Fonte.
rapid fire punching, but it's just like for some reason it's grittier though. Like he like I don't know, he puts a little extra something to that flow that I really like. So yeah, there's no trouble.
Yeah.
Definitely no
Yeah.
trouble.
Agreed.
Yeah. Fonte, that's a great call. That's a great call. Just a hell of a track. That beat. Just I'm looking at my notes from when I was listening to these songs, and it's so my notes from Mandela are, oh shit, that beat. my notes on Napoleon are, oh wow, nice beat.
That production.
I mean, you guys addressed the samples, but like that is just like, that is classic, quintessential hip hop beat. Just doom doom psh, doom boom. Psh. Artemis loves when I
love it.
when I beatbox.
That production, give you chills. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love the layers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great track. All right. So what we got left is Mandela.
Mandela.
Are the troops on the field?
This will make you want to go to war right here. This make you want to change things. Okay. Let's go, Mandela.
I'm a freedom fighter, Dalai Lama from a weed supplier. I'm Muhammad to the rap game, that's my last name. My first should be Elijah, and I need a choir. Frequent flyer, gold medallion, Jesus piece. I'm the one, the real Jesus Maya, cause I'm trying to get niggas to leave the street. And I don't need to be, cause I can easily speak to these niggas through the frequencies to compete with me. You gon' need a priest to preach your sweetest needs, to give a hell of an Easter speech. I keep the heat right there underneath the seat. Got pulled over by the police this week. They asked me why I got this fully loaded piece with me. I say, officer, I'm just trying to make it home peacefully. So I'm riding with a rifle, another iron in the Bible. Call my niggas out in Paris, have them climb up the Eiffel. We don't give a fuck, cause it's all about survival. When you caught up in the cycle, when you feel like you're entitled to more than what you're getting, and until you're homicidal. Y'all know that I'm the best, but I swear I'm in denial. And they don't say it cause I'm better than they idol. Got the mind of a disciple when I'm rocking the revival. But I'm soon to be the king. Fuck you and your team, bada boom, bada beam. If you don't like the way I rule my regime, let them up before June in the spring. I'm Desmond Tutu, mixed with the Zeus of the Zulus. I'm the leader of the new school. Man, I swear I'm gonna feel like Mandela. Nelson. I want my troops in the field like Nelson. All these niggas wanna kill
Nelson. I'm Desmond Tutu. I'm like, yo, woo, 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 woo.
That is a cut. That is a cut. Wow.
Warrior music, yo. Warrior. And ain't nothing in there was not one lie told. Yo. He's like, look, I want to be a visionary. I want to be a leader. Like, I am a leader, Oh my goodness.
He definitely alludes at one point in the song to the 20 plus years that Mandela spent in prison. What I kind of took from that lyrically was him saying, being a leader isn't about, driving the fanciest car and bossing people around. It's about the sacrifice. It's about, what you bring to the table rather than what you're expecting other people to bring to the table. And that's, I thought was really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dior.
Well, I was just gonna say that space where he's in the car, because my mind sees him in the car. But when he's talking about, talking to the officer, like, yo, I'm just trying to make it home peacefully, like, right. And everything I'm doing, like, but he's also showing you before even BLM, right? He's showing you that Black Lives Matter, like, yo, like, can I just, this is what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for my freedom. And it's the situation is as small as me getting pulled over by the police, It's just, oh my God, there's just so much in there, so much. But yes, go Tia.
all of these lines. My favorite is the way he ends it with, I feel like Lorenz Tate in the pool hall right before Terrence Howard lit the Newport. Like this, everybody knows what scene that is in Menace to Society. I'm sorry, in Help Me Dead Presidents.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like that is one of my favorite scenes where Youngblood gets his revenge back on Terrence Howard. And it's a moment, right? It's like you almost, everybody's Kirby's watching and you're like, look, they're a little bit excited that he's whipping his ass, and it's just a little bit of excitement you get from it, like, damn, he beat the hell out, but you liked it, And I feel like that's what this song is like. This whole album is like you liked getting your head beat open this entire album, this entire mixtape, and then you're like, okay, this is the way he ended that song. Absolutely, you were on the precipice of something was about to go down, and I felt like this was it for me. And then I love, the fact that like the layers of it's such vivid like patterns in the wordplay that I could feel like that image, right? I can feel everything, I can visualize it and picture it, and it's dope how he can make that stand out. I write my graffiti in Swahili. Yeah, like I feel like that. This is the standout one for me on the whole album. I'm like empowering to say the least, but it's also just dope,
Yes.
No doubt.
And he brings the troops with him on the track. Like
yes.
Yeah.
He's coming in and invading all of Wakanda, about to take on everybody. But nah, like this is what gets me about the track though, because it's such a big sound. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, since he works with Kanye, did he try to give this to Kanye? He didn't want it, or because like you listen to the texture of the production, the drums are out of it at one point and just letting him go flow fast, and then it just comes back in with like a very kind of cool hook. It makes me wonder because some of the records don't have that very chorus like unison kind of sound to it, And it just made me wonder because like this is the kind of song you need a video for, I feel, or you get like, or you package it with an EP, you put the video out of this as a single, and it's just there. And I kind of, it's dope to hear. It's dope to hear this again because I didn't realize like how like full the song sounds like overall. You get rapid pace lyrics along with a deeper message within it. And then like you hear what he's saying along with the production. It's great,
Yes.
So yeah, it's a dope track.
Yeah. Let's like I said, holy shit, that beat. Let's talk about that beat. What I love in music production and arrangement is not bringing everything in right away. Start with a small element, layer an element on top, layer elements on top of that as the song goes, and you can build. And I love that they kind of held off on like the big drums until like just that moment. So I remember the first time I listened to it, I did one of those, oh, hello.
Yep.
That's like, that hit me right in the face. That hit me right in the, it's like,
I used to have that joint in the whip everywhere up on 14th Street, like boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I love that. That's obviously, I can't speak to what part of Africa that type of a beat originates from, but it's very clearly obviously the song is Mandela. It's obviously a very deep African just beat and just killing, just absolutely killing. And fits the song. It's supposed to rouse you up, it's sort of like the hip hop equivalent of being on your horse in front of your army and giving a rousing speech once more into the breach, my friends. So it's just, what a great track. Great track. This was my favorite track on the whole mixtape, without question.
It's hard, but easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's really that track. It's that track. So
no doubt.
Do you guys have any wrap up thoughts on the record
I
before
was gonna say, go listen to that thing right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
It gives the high as roses.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
There's test of time. I mean, my favorite track still is like 316s.
Yes.
I wish
Oh,
I'd gone
gorgeous.
back to this probably a little bit earlier, but like, yeah, it's kind of dope to hear it now because you're like, oh wow, this really did like really age well so far. Like, it's dope to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Like all of our classics, it ages well. That's why they're classics. That's why we call them classics. And
I
this
feel
one-
like it's no timeless music. There is no date, right? And it's like this one, you can pick up something new every time you listen to something. But this is one I was like, oh my goodness, I'm glad I almost listened to it now, because it's interesting when it came out, because it also, I thought, is a critique on some contemporary Black culture of like, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. And not all of y'all out here doing it right. Like, as much as this is like some braggadocio shit on stuff, it's also like, I'm getting y'all right. You know, y'all not ready. You need to make some changes. And now to be able to think about like where we are in 2021 and this came out, it's like, you almost say that word like it's ahead of its time.
It's ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another night of first. The first mixtape we actually ever reviewed too. That's the crazy
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, we haven't gone into many mixtapes. So this is dope to revisit this one, definitely.
We're killing it in season 2. Killing it in season 2.
Season 2. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dior. We loved talking with you. We love being with you. Again, DC Music Summit, go sign up, be a part of it, be a part of the community. We're trying to build a community, a music community here in the DMV. It's the only way real artists are gonna make it, and it just is together. The one thing that I've always loved about the DC music community is how supportive. I mean, there's ridiculous talent in this town, in hip hop and jazz, in like Americana and country. There's amazing musical talent in and around this area, and every space I traverse, it always feels warm and welcoming. And the hip hop community in DMV has felt like that. And you are obviously a luminary, one of the brightest stars in our local hip hop community. Thank you so much for being with us on Grande Loq, Dior.
Yes, thank you. And before I leave, I just got to know what's on that wall right there with the pink girl. What does it say above her head?
That's Cardi B. It says, "Bitch, I'm scared."
Yeah. Look,
that is a sign. That is an actual sign. That is a sign from the 2018 Women's March.
I love it.
And Cardi B, my sister-in-law gave that to me. She was out with some friends, and they were going to throw that away. I go, "The hell you are! I'm framing that."
You gotta
framing that. It was carried in the 2018 Women's March. I think you can actually go back in Cardi B's Instagram and like, because there were a bunch of Cardi B signs, and so she had a montage of all of them, and so this is actually one of the signs that she has in her on her Instagram. So me and Cardi. Yeah, I got Miles up here. I got Funk Parade. I have Songbird back there.
I'm gonna give you a DC Music Summit flyer. Yep, this
there
year I got one for you.
There you go.
Put it up.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back, and we're gonna talk haram.
Yep. Peace.
All I had was the will and the love. I swore vengeance in the 7th grade. Not on one man, the whole human race. I'm almost done, God be praised. I'm almost done, every debt gets paid. I used to cut grass and smile like I meant it. We squatted in the shade when the mowers.
Yes. Welcome back to Grande Loq. You are listening to the newest album from Armand Hammer and the Alchemist. Armand Hammer being just, I feel like one of underground hip hop's sort of most underrated duos, between Billy Woods and Lucid, I'm sorry. And one of the great things about this album is that this is actually the fourth offering between the duo of Billy Woods and Elucid, but this is the first with Alchemist. It's their fourth album in 7 years. So it's pretty interesting to see their growth now adding, you know, California's most iconic, I think now, emerging producer and voice from, obviously worked with everybody from Eminem to Nas and Snoop Dogg. We all know the Alchemist. But this particular album, Haram, is really, I feel like it's fitting. When I read what haram meant, it's actually in the Islamic religion. Haram is a term that refers to any act that is forbidden by Allah and is one of the 5 Islamic commandments. And this is like really stirring imagery and incisive storytelling. And these two MCs are just like, you know, diving and painting this portrait, I think, of like this really intricate kind of rhyme. It's some profane stuff on there. It's some sadist loving stuff on there. But it's almost sort of like this reminder overall of this project of like that which is forbidden is also kind of sacred and sometimes. So it's interesting. I think you just heard the bump that will play into the next song that we're going to hear, which is Chicharrones, who's featuring Quelle Chris, who we've heard from before. We've reviewed his project with Homeboy Sandman. So let's get into Chicharrones.
Got caught with the pork, you gotta kill the cop in your thoughts, still saying pause. Negroes say they hate the cops, but the minute something off, they wanna use force. I just work here, I'm not the boss. I never bought in, so when it go left, it's no loss, no loss. When they look back in history, make sure I'm absolved. Make sure. Don't try to rewrite the past, it's oral history where I'm involved. Green, man. Don't let them do it, man. Don't let them do it. Your crew fragile as the Caucasus, as the Balkans is. It's one nigga who nice, the rest sausages. Got caught with the hog leg, but you gotta kill the cop in your head. The office in your mind, red-handed. The chicharrones was chili and lime.
Oh, if you off the pig, is you offing pigs or offering figs? Oh, you big and bad, blowing hay and sticks, huffing bricks, flip the snout, spike the mouth, right the lips, put it on the spit.
Ugh,
That's tight.
that was tough, man.
Yeah.
That beat is so crazy. Just, I felt like this was not what I was expecting from like a song when I just read the title at first, Chicharrones. But then I'm like, when you look at the artwork, which we did mention in the intro, but the artwork of this is these two pork heads, these two pig heads. And the fact that this is called chicharrones, which most people know chicharron is a pork dish, and the fact that the fried pork belly or fried pork rinds. And so the double entendre that it already comes in when you listen to this, and like, obviously we know the term being referring to pigs or pork bellies being about police officers, and how they're really using that metaphor throughout an imagery of pigs and pork products throughout the track. I mean, it's just like, it's so brilliant and like it's undercover brilliant. And these guys are from, you know, Harlem. I think is interesting against like this backdrop of this California producer, like I said, kind of iconic sound of California. And like, this is just not what I expected, but it is beautiful. It meshes well. What do you think?
I really liked the layering because it wasn't musical. It was a lot of non-musical elements layered on top that actually did kind of make, even though it was a drone, it kind of gave it some harmony. I'm a huge fan of Alchemist, and we did the Freddie Gibbs Alchemist record from 2020 way back in season 1. But this is, the wordplay on this track is tremendous. you know, their flow is great. Yeah, it's just a really, really, really good track. One of my favorites on this record.
Yo, let me say this. Well, first of all, before I get into the song, I want to say both of these guys by themselves, they have like a deep catalog of music, which is crazy because a lot of people don't think about it. Elucid is connected to Legendary, which is like made up of people from the OK Player, like that whole scene. So if you think about like Tanya Morgan and all them, they got the smooth kind of
Yep.
flows like that. But
Mhm.
Lucid, it's like he's at you, he's at your neck, like every
Mhm.
time he rap. So I thought that was interesting. And Billy Woods, I mean, it's crazy how long I've heard about him for like this many years, especially of all the releases he's had on Backwoods Studios, and like them coming together for a fourth time, and their name keeps going up every time they do Arm and Hammer. Every time they've done an Arm and Hammer album, somebody else is talking about them. Like the newer outlets have been talking about them, and doing this with Alchemist, and Alchemist isn't using his usual sound, in my opinion, like he does with like Bodie James or like any or like Domo Genesis. Like it's so dope. That's why I loved Indian Summer a lot. Like hearing that bump because I felt what he was doing with it. This track in particular with Quelle Chris, I'm like, it's like perfect because it's like it's not like it's lazy. It's just like evil. You know, it's like slow, drugged out, and it's just like what they're talking about is just
Mhm.
there's evil with it. You know, so I dug this track a lot.
Sure.
Yes, I agree. I think yeah, you hit that on the head. Let's go to the next track, which I think is interesting for people who are David Lynch nerds and love Twin Peaks and all that. Let's get into Falling Out the Sky.
She dropped the load on me before they close the door. I be with nobody who knows what's going on inside. My father's body swollen behind my eyes. I ain't cried for him in time to return solar. We on the ride forward. The reverse not working. Sometimes we collide. The black sky full of supernovas. The stars that died, no lie. I'm still rooting for us. Two puss in the sword. Rhymes for us that could join us to the cosmic. Split burning like cruel oil. Pool water drip like osmosis. I set the mood for you. You know the vibes. Today I got time for it. Run Forest. 5 on me like I'm Bob Horry for the tribe slime. Mamba mentality stars falling out of the sky. Slide.
He was a star. When I got him, he was a star. Sly told you that everybody is a star. The only problem is some people haven't been put in the dipper and pulled back on the world. That's what you can say.
Woke up on the West Coast for the first time in my life. Drove cross country, but I remember those flights. Genuflected when I heard the weed price. White boys with the weed pipes. Sunny days, sunny nights, mighty clouds and northern lights. I was always bright, so no sooner than we touched down, I'm seeing how we could get home and be right. It's hard to live in the moment, but I guess.
This song is so, I don't, it's just really deep to me. I love Earl Sweatshirt is featured on this song. He is the first verse on this song, and it's his verse is inspired by his father's death and talks a lot about that, versus Billy Woods to sort of talk about his brief stint living in California. I feel like everybody, you know, that age of when you go to California and what that experience is like. In a Lucid talking about like this fresh air fund sleepaway camp in upstate New York, which was his first time ever away from home. And each time this age of the narrator gets younger and younger, each verse, which kind of, you know, think is about like, it kind of, I don't know if they planned that or if that was an accident, or I'm sorry, if that was purposeful, but the idea of this being like falling out the sky. And this, everything about this song is just like brilliant to me. And, you know, it's not unlike, this isn't the first time that, you know, Earl has worked with Arm & Hammer. They worked together on another project on I want to say Shrines, on another album, but as just, I don't know, something about this collaboration on top of Alchemist's beat and the fact that they sampled like Twin Peaks and like it, this, the whole thing is just like, I was trying to figure this out for a while. Just crazy. But anyway, what did you guys think about it?
Go ahead, Art.
Oh, well, first of all, I do need to watch Twin Peaks. All my friends told me to watch it. It's like this is more of a reason for me to watch Twin Peaks finally. It's not that I don't hate. It's not that I hate anything. It just wasn't on my agenda for one of those to be one of those shows I need to watch.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna watch it for real this time. This song it does make me want to revisit Earl's like second or third album. What was that album? I don't do shit. I don't go outside or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, this makes me want to revisit that album again, actually, because it's like he took. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say Armin. I'm not gonna say Armin Hammer was inspired by that, but I want to say they kind of fall into that same lane, like kind of constantly. I don't know how to put it. So it was dope for him to be on this track. This is a track I need to listen to the lyrics again on too, because I'm getting the feel of the beat and I'm loving it and I'm digging what they're saying. But it's like it's layered too, in my opinion. So I definitely dug it, man. I definitely dug what they're doing on the track. It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of layers. Musically, it's a lot of layers. It feels kind of proto reggae, a little bit. Not deep reggae. Yeah. Not deep reggae, but like it has a little bit of that vibe. It definitely felt like what I would want in my earbuds if I'm chilling on the beach with a beer in my hand. Maybe I'm a little touched, but this is a great this is a great track. This would be a great summertime jam. And I mean just musically it's got that beautiful flow and just that head nod beat. But yeah, the lyrics are definitely multi-layered and I hadn't even thought about, sort of like that moving backwards. I always try to think in kind of storytelling tropes and not tropes. Tropes makes it sound pejorative, but like storytelling conventions. And I kind of like flaked out on the most obvious one, which is chronology, and sometimes going in reverse chronology. It's really that's a great observation. This is a tremendous track. I dug this whole album. I was actually kind of as I put the songs out that we were going to focus on, and then like this afternoon I was listening to the album again, and I'm like, damn, we should have talked about Aubergine. We should have talked about Pepper Tree. We should have talked about Stone Fruit. So many great tracks on this album, really. I mean, the 3 tracks we picked and we're going to talk about are tremendous, but
it is one of those. I agree. It's like different it's quality work that every track kind of does stand out, and you do have to listen to this album, I feel like, in full in its entirety. So I do encourage, if people are going to listen to it, don't try to like, I'll listen to one song and
and I know, and I'm sorry, and I know Arm & Hammer have been around for a minute, but it kind of feels like, I don't want to say it feels like a first album. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, sort of like I felt like there was a lot of come up, and talking about what life was like before a hip hop career and some of the problems going on, and I kind of just I got that I kind of got that vibe, that Good Kid, Mad City vibe from a lot of these songs, and so
I feel like, yes, I agree. And it's interesting because just as you said, that it's sort of like some of the features are interesting because all of the features are like standouts. Like every time there's somebody, and Kayana is on the next song that we're going to talk about, which is Black Sunlight.
Took the haze to church, frankincense and myrrh. The whole thing was a blur. Laughed at first. Niggas politics absurd. I ain't even answer, just let the weed burn. Unconcerned. Sprayed and perm. Arm & Hammer, Hagler and Hearn. Shorted them like Bear Stearns. It's not an aberration, it's how it works. Chuckle at the investigation, niggas is nerds. Cook the books with the bookworms. Oh, word? It Iridescent blackness. Is this performative praxis? Are we talking about practice? Rock the kufi backwards, magic Negro, Wesley Snipes taxes. Dark inside the ibex with 2 ratchets. African accents, American names like David Patrick. Game is the game, just gotta change tactics. Revolvers to automatics, back to revolvers, nothing is static. Black bastards, Negro human laugh in the casket. Yellow teeth and eyes is flashing. Some nights the sun shines, just gotta catch it.
Smile, niggas. Trials ready in my full expression. Stressors. Pressure cooking.
Crazy.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Sample Oracle.
You know what? So I could not figure, this was interesting because I was actually so excited about the way that Alchemist flipped this, because what's singing on top of it, like it's the what that ethereal kind of track behind it, the instrumentation is not what she's singing on top. She's actually singing a different sample, like which I believe to be Dexter Wansell and Jones Girls, You Bring the Stars Out, but that's not what is actually sampled. It's not the, so I was like, that is just, you know, again, the Alchemist can do no wrong, but I mean, the way that, you know, you think about the way that he does stuff, and it's like, you know, you just go like, I no wonder you're so great. Because he takes no days off. I mean, those things where it's like, I'm even stumped trying to figure out, like, wait a second, this ain't that. This is, so what Kayana is singing, brilliantly played. I'm just like, that's how you hide a sample, let me tell you. But it's the vintage kind of warped soul sample on it, along with this really optimistic kind of theme. Which I feel like is not really, you know, the vibe of this album is not sort of the optimism kind of a thing in the end, but this song really, it just made me feel that around just smile, you know. It's a depressing time, and being able to, you know, this came out in 2021, but self-love and empowerment and those sort of commentary alongside like the darker kind of more political raps, I really enjoy on this song. So this was one for me. I was like, everything from the sample to the singing is just peppered with just gorgeous layers on this song.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy. So are you suggesting then that you think that there's 2 samples layered on top?
Yes.
The vocals.
And I think, and she's singing something distinctly different, meaning that she's singing, actually doing like an interpolation of a Jones Girls song, but that's not what the source material that Alchemist used either.
I've done that before. Like,
really?
You take a layer of a sample and you kind of flip something different within it, like, or you sing over, you do something, because it's almost like, I don't want to say it's tracing a pattern, but it's almost like you're like you're saying, you make your own interpolation of it, you know.
Yeah,
you kind of made something different out of it. Yeah, it's a I don't want to say it's like a new trick or anything, but it's something that a lot more people are doing, I'd say, now. Like
sophisticated production for sure.
Yeah,
though.
definitely.
Yeah.
Very, very much so.
Very much so.
Yeah, I thought this track, like having a drum fill repeat like that, and then hearing the raps over it like that, that very Crime Apple, Al Divino, Mac Hammy, like that kind of like style going in on it is dope. I mean, but Billy Wood's got his own thing, so I can't really say he's trying to like do what they do. He's always been doing his own thing, so you can't really say that. I'm sad that we haven't been able, out all these snippets, we haven't been able to really hear a lucid rap. I just thought about that just now. Like every time, like unless I got it wrong, because Lucid has a very, very powerful like presence on the mic, like, and him and Billy just match each other. I felt like on this track it would have been like hearing that snippet would have been dope, but you know, it is what it is, man. Like, love the whole album. This is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah. Lucid's on the second verse, Artemis. You're saying Yeah, he's on the second verse, but
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like in the
yeah.
snippets, them snippets we didn't get to hear.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked it because I just thought about it. Like Billy must go first
every time. Yes, I hear what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that is absolutely, that must be purposeful. Yeah.
So here's what it is.
So tremendous album, like just overall, I thought, again, this is like a common theme refrain, but I enjoy really good musicality and song construction and composition. So from that standpoint, you can't really go wrong with Alchemist. I mean, he's one of our very best and brightest in the hip hop firmament. He's one of those producers that anything he does, I'm going to listen to. Not to say that I'm going to like absolutely everything. There was actually a lot of stuff on this album that kind of reminded me of like early Kanye, kind of stuff that early Kanye would have done. These are the types of samples I think he would have used, late 90s. But getting back to Alchemist, so good. So
it is.
Buy the album. Buy the album.
GOAT. Like, I don't know how else you can say it except just GOAT. Like,
yeah. In the conversation, I mean, Mad Libs.
Yeah.
Say, but
Mad Lib certainly is still in that space to me. But I'm just like, I think about how he really just exaggerates almost their sound and does it so well. And like, I don't know, it doesn't sound classical Alchemist, but at the same time, he still maintains his identity in the song.
This is a great pairing. This is a great pairing too of Alchemist and Arm & Hammer.
Yes.
So
I will say they also have I always focus on like those certain bars that just make you. One of my favorite on the thing, this Iridescent Blackness song, where it's like the iridescent blackness, is this performative or praxis? Are we talking about practice? Rock the Kufi backwards, Magic Negro, Wesley Snipe taxes. Like that was just, that to me is how the rhyme structure and the wordplay, and like they can do it all. They can storytell, it's just,
Well, can I say this though? Like I know it's easy to rhyme, but like can hip hop artists just give Wesley Snipes a break? Like it seems like people are bringing up his tax situation. It seems like there's like 10 or 15 different hip hop tracks.
No.
Can we just, the man has paid his debt to society. Can we just give him a break on the whole tax thing?
Do you know how badly New Jack City has affected rappers like from way back in the day? You understand?
Maybe we can talk about New Jack City before we have a certain artist.
How many times have you told somebody to sit their $5 ass down before you make change? How many people have you told that to?
I've told that a few times.
Or Blade, or like even Blade. Like, come on, man. A lot of rap artists watch Blade.
Yes.
Black Vampire, like we saw it was like hella cool like that,
Exactly.
I'm not saying cancel Wesley Snipes. I'm saying let's just stop bringing up.
I know what you're saying. Like we can't leave him alone though. We got to big up Wesley, man.
Some motherfuckers is always trying to ice skate uphill. That's my favorite Blade quote.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Well, this was as always so much fun. This is one of my very, very favorite things that I do, is get to chop it up about great music with you two. Thank you, T and Artemis, for being here, and all of our great discussions. Thank you again to Dior Ashley Brown. She is amazing. Thank you for being here. DC Music Summit, dcmusicsummit.org. Go and get your tickets. Even if you're just kind of like me, just like a marginal member of the DC music community, there's still going to be a lot of great stuff, and a lot of great performances. And so, get with DC Music Summit. So if you've enjoyed our show, again, we would be honored if you would subscribe, rate, review, just tell people about the show. We always like to have more people tuning in. We're on YouTube, Facebook right now. We're on Spotify, TuneIn, Alexa, iHeartRadio. Just Search Grande Loq with a Q, Loq. Production is courtesy of the great Marcus Donovan, the pasteurized chef. Thank you, Marcus. I know we always talk in our pre-show meeting like, all right, we're gonna keep it tight this time. We're gonna keep it tight. We're gonna keep it tight. Now, what are we at? Like an hour, 40 minutes. Thank you, Marcus, for your eternal patience with us. Like any good parent, he says he's going to enforce discipline, but then he lets us be us. So it's all good. It's all good. You can check out his show, the District of Misfits show, every Sunday evening. They go live at 10. And it is a fun, super loose time. Shout out to Val, shout out to Boo, shout out to Jamie, all those guys, that crew. That's a great, great show. Super fun. So this is a District Dogface production. Big shout out to the Transcendent one, Tina Turner. I'm glad she's having her moment again. So thank you guys. Rolling on the river, I can see.
Yeah.
Thank you all for letting us into your brain. Peace.